Well, welcome everybody to Clay Center Lady Tiger softball. A season in a nutshell happens today instead of what would have been senior night this week and the postseason rolling in. And I hate to go down that road, but that's where we're at. So thank you guys for being a part of this Lady Tiger softball segment. We have four of our seniors here, and then our coaches along with us. So appreciate you guys taking time to do this and kind of sharing what you guys are going through a little bit. I thought first, before even talking about this weird season, let's go back to the last game you guys played. 10-inning affair in Salina that ended up with a 2-1 win. Was that one of the most weird and exciting and fun weekend tournaments with the delays and then the comebacks and then the suspended games, and then to get the thing done in dramatic fashion in 10 innings, it was dynamite. Coach Richter, I'll let you start with some comments on how that weekend felt, and then to put a wrap on it with a third-place finish.
Well, it gave me a stomachache a lot longer than normal, trying to figure out, what the Paola coach and everybody was going to do, with every scenario, and Nicole can vouch for that. So it was such a roller coaster, rain, and then, they wanted to start back. The other team wanted to start back that night, and I said, I don't think so, because we would have been out in the field and wet ball, everything else, and then another little shower came, which probably saved us. So I think it was to our advantage to come back the next day, or what was it, 2 days later or whatever. Right. It was just, then you have to get back up, and you have a 1-inning game, 1.5 inning game instead of a 7. So you didn't dare, get behind. So that was the strategy, to make sure that we could go into extra innings and keep it even tied, and she hadn't bunted the whole game, and that was her option to do that on Claire, was to try to move the runner over. So that was, that's what you have to, try to figure out what she was going to do, but just so we didn't get behind and give us a chance.
And
so it was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, the whole weekend was crazy for sure. Gracie, you had a little something to do with the finish of that ball game. Talk about the shot you hit, the triple that eventually became the winning run.
So I was super nervous going up there because I think we have 2 outs, or was I think I was a starting batter actually, and I was like really nervous to do that. And after we hit it, I hit a triple, and then JC came and hit me home, and it was super exciting. And I know we all wanted to be there and have a win and end on a win. So yeah.
Got it done in dramatic fashion. Speaking of having it suspended 2 days, Kylie, as a catcher, you guys go through a lot as it is every game. How did the body react to having to take so many breaks and then to go back and get behind the plate?
I was definitely sore, but I ended up pushing through it, and I just had to do what I had to do, and we got through it.
Lexi and Jaden, I know that you guys have been a huge part of what Lady Tiger softball has, as all this group has, but defensively, we talk about being at the plate with Gracie. We talk about being behind the plate with Kylie. I don't think people can understand the pressure sometimes on a first baseman. Lexi, I'll start with you, because you're involved in almost everything that happens. Talk about, on the defensive side, keeping things in check to finally get the win.
Well, I think I've never played first base before, and I wasn't super excited about it at the start, but Dawn told me to keep doing it, and so I did, and I ended up not hating it as much.
Can I come in a little bit?
Yeah.
I put my really good glove at first base, because every ball goes everywhere, and she did an amazing job, and I don't put anybody over there that I don't feel like that can catch a ball, and she was awesome. So they have to do a lot of things maybe they're not used to or accustomed to, but they give it 100%, and they always do the job.
Jaden, I saw Dawn's kind of breakdown of each player, and she talked about your speed and tracking down balls in the outfield, and it is fun to watch you do that. And you had some big plays in the regionals and state championships. Talk about what it's like, kind of like Lexi said, on the defensive side of things, patrolling that outfield. And I remember at least 2 or 3 fly balls, one that was deep that you got to, and a couple that you came in, I think, sliding in to make the play on that I didn't think you had a chance to get to. So talk about playing the outfield.
I love playing the outfield. Just, I don't know what it is. I've always played the outfield, and I enjoy every bit of it. You also, know there's, nobody behind you, so you have to keep every ball in front of you all the time. So diving.
We scream at you about that, don't we?
Yep.
Nicole, comment a little bit about conversations that you guys have at first base when you're coaching.
With the girls or to myself? No.
Well, maybe both.
Well, I usually make sure they know how many outs they have. I usually make sure they know if they got the sign or not, because if not, they know that I get chewed out if they don't get their sign from John. Yes, I do. And we just kind of talk. I usually tell them, good hit or, different things like that. I always try to get a fist pump from them. And things like that. So it's been really nice finally, because when I first came here, Dawn did that by herself. And I still do not know how she did that on her own for so many years. So that's been really nice to have an extra eye and a little extra help over there. So yeah, normally, or I give them some smart remark usually. You never know. Right, dog? Something.
And the crazy thing is too, in such intense games like we seem to always have, it is awesome to have Nicole over there because, they can be up to bat and they get to first base and lose all train of anything. I mean, there's times that I get so wrapped up in the game that I think, oh my gosh, how many outs? So it is awesome to have her over there. And I think it does calm them down. And just given the scenario that I don't care what you do, you better by gosh slide because you're going, so I think it's been really nice to have somebody over there.
Dawn, when you're at third base, talk about your seniors as freshmen, maybe the conversations they might have with you compared to this coming year as a senior, or last year as a junior even. I'm guessing they may have been a little more intimidated as a freshman. Am I right?
Did you see me roll my eyes? It's like I always say, you little juniors, you little freshmen. I mean, they're always like in a pack. When we first get to practice, I let them do whatever they want to do, visit, all that stuff. And they always congregate with each other. But then when practice starts, and they try to congregate. And I said, no, we don't do that, and they can vouch for that. If anything goes wrong or the equipment isn't put up or or anything like that, I go, you little freshmen, you little juniors. It's always them. It was always them. So, it's just been a really good bunch. Very, from freshmen, I could pick on Jaden a little bit. I don't put anybody out there. I don't care if you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. I don't put anybody out there if I don't think they can do the job. And these girls have been very, very competitive, and they've been put out in tough situations. And Jaden, we talked about this, that I put her in the outfield, and it was the worst game ever. You guys remember Marysville? The wind was swirling, it was raining, and I put her in the outfield, and that ball did the craziest things in all my years of coaching I've ever seen. And the ball went to the side, to behind her, and it hit her glove, which, the effort was 100% there, and she dropped it. And the next day, and we end up winning the game, but it was not her fault. The weather was awful. And the next day she'd come up to where I get the stuff out in the building, and she goes, Coach, can I talk to you? And I said, absolutely. And she said, I'll never let that happen again. I said, oh my gosh, Jaden. I said, if you guys remember that game, it was the most horrible weather ever. And never would I take anybody, out of a game because of a situation like that. And they've all proved themselves, from his last year as a junior, they were so focused, and man, those are intense games, man. I give kudos to them because they dug in. They really did dug in. We would never, have even gone that far. I mean, we won the league, 3 years in a row, NCKL, is that right? We ended that game on such a high, and then to have this go on. It's like always so many what ifs. And you guys all know that every day when I walk, I think, okay, I go through the game before on what you did, 0 for 2 or 3 for 4, whatever. We always had the bucket talk, the next day. And it's just been very surreal about when I walk. I just don't have anything to, plan or anything when it comes to these kids. And that's what's been so breaking for me.
I was talking with Jeremy Hollidays with the Kansas State High School Activities Association and did an interview with him about the winter sports being canceled and the decision for the spring sports, obviously. And he said last year, with all the delays you guys had to deal with and then come out victorious and all the state tournaments going on, he said, we joked after that weekend that, boy, this is the worst it could get. And obviously it got worse with this whole thing going down. Lexi and Jaden, I know we had this conversation when we found out basketball was over and your thoughts as far as dealing with that. Lexi, I know you went out and shot baskets when it was over and you weren't going to get back on the court. Jaden, I know you were looking forward to softball season maybe more than any other sports. So I'll let you two answer again when it came down to knowing that the season was not going to happen. The best way I've asked the question, I think, in my mind is, how do you get your mind wrapped around it? Are you still with me? Back.
There.
Sam's frozen.
We froze up. Okay, very good. Anyway, I don't know what you heard me ask, but I know Alexi and Jaden, we had asked you before about basketball, but the way I've asked this question to everyone, and I think it's the best way I can find out what you guys went through, is how do you wrap your minds around the fact that there is not going to be a softball season? Lexi or Jaden, either one.
It's been hard knowing that we won't ever get to step foot on the field. Like, we didn't even get to go to practice because we were still at basketball, but knowing that we were at least at basketball together helps, and that we've played it for so long and we made a lot of memories while we did play.
All right.
Softball hit me the hardest personally. I was devastated that there was no season. And I still cannot wrap my head around the fact that we don't get to have softball.
Yeah. I don't know, baseball was, I played all the sports in high school, but baseball was the sport when I was in high school, and we'd gone to state the year prior. I can't imagine that senior year not getting to go back out on that field. Kylie, I know softball is important to you. I can tell by the way you play the game. So, I mean, is it just an uneasy feeling, or, what are some thoughts?
Yeah, it's very uneasy. It is still hard for me to even think that, wow, we don't have a senior year. It kind of still feels unreal to me that this all happened and everyone is going through it and not just us. And, yeah, I'm hoping that we're able to get some in during the summer. So I'm getting my hopes up for that. But, yeah, other than that, it is very uneasy and it does suck, but we'll get through it eventually.
Yeah. Gracie, same thoughts I'm sure you're dealing with. Did it hit hard this week or harder knowing it would have been senior night?
Yes, actually. Especially like at first when we first found out, it was super disappointing, and knowing at state last year, that was our last time ever playing. But knowing that state is at the end of the month too, I was hoping it would be our 4th year going back, and now that we don't have the opportunity, it just really doesn't feel good to us. So
It's just tough. Kylie said it best. It sucks. It does. There's no way around it. Coaches, Don talked about not being able to plan ahead and not just being around each other and around the girls. Probably the toughest part, I would guess.
I'll say something. It's been really hard. And I know there's more important things in life is their safety and everything, but it still just doesn't take away from the fact that, you miss those girls walking up the sidewalk every day, listening to them laugh. You miss hearing the people holler, and and it's been really hard for me because I haven't even wanted to drive past the ball fields, and I haven't this whole time. It's like, I seen pictures, where they lit up the lights for the softball fields, which I thought was really neat, but it was kind of put the salt in the wound a little bit, because it was just been really disappointing. And I miss talking to Nicole at the end of the gate when we close the gate up every day. It's just so many things that, I got started with Gracie and Kylie, for a week and a half maybe, and it was the coldest, wettest times ever. But the season had started, and man, you're pumped. We ended on such a high note last year, and just so many things that is involved, especially with these kids. I keep hearing they might give an extra year of eligibility to the college. I told Jaden the other day, I said, wouldn't that be awesome if they give high school kids, seniors, another year? Because we'll just be ready to start regionals when they're out of college. So why couldn't they have an extra year? So I keep thinking of, what if again? So, but there's a lot of things. I miss Nicole every day. We've kind of kept in touch here and there, just over a few things. So, but it's just been way different.
Nicole, you're dealing with it as a coach and a mom.
Yeah, it's been very different. Obviously, we don't talk about it a lot at our house because there's not a lot of talking. I sat and listened through the basketball Zoom, and that was really hard. And
it is
I know
tough.
it was really hard for me to write. I was telling them that it was really hard for me to write my senior night.
Yeah.
On Facebook, of all places, on Facebook. I teared up. I laughed because there was so many things, and just to listen to these kids, it was really,
interactions. That's really the hardest, is not.
Absolutely. And anybody knows me, I'm a hugger on senior night. I can't give them a hug on Facebook. So that was just me. I'm a hugger, and I cry, but I just love these kids, and it's just way surreal, way different and everything. So
For the seniors, I'll ask this: have any of you snuck up on the softball field and spit sunflower seeds on the field?
No,
No? I gave you an idea then.
we snuck up and took a few pictures, but that was it.
Good pictures, good.
that was my one question with them all the time is, what's in your mouth? Oh my gosh,
Kylie.
Huh?
Kylie. Sneak them in.
Gosh. Oh, I tell you. But, they could choke playing the game with those. And I had to prove it to them on Google that people, oh gosh, I got a tear coming down. Sorry.
I know.
There's, people choke, and that's very dangerous. I don't care. You shouldn't be chewing gum or sunflower seeds. Oh my gosh. They sneak everything, let me tell you. So I'm going to shout out to Allie here. Can you see Allie? Here's my other senior.
There you go.
She
Allie
can't be.
Dye.
I know. And I'm disappointed for her too, because she's worked really hard, and she was going to get the opportunity to really contribute this year too. So I really disappointed for her also. But
I thought maybe I'd have the seniors, if you don't mind, share a Donism or a favorite memory, either way. Something you hear Don say a lot, or a favorite memory, and then we'll go back around. We'll go back around, and I would like you guys to share your plans for next year and how that's going with everything that's in flux. So, Gracie, you're the first I see on my screen, anyways.
Okay. My favorite memory was definitely all the bus rides, especially after state games last year. I mean, all the ones we had because of the rain. But we always had a good time, and we always were laughing. We were making songs and raps, and it was really fun. So probably that.
Cool. Kylie?
Definitely when we went to Dairy Queen. We always laughed all the time, and we definitely got in trouble a couple of times by the coaches. And we always had too much ice cream. And yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites.
Awesome. Jaden?
Okay, so I was very, very superstitious with softball. And my sophomore year, I think it was, I had everything like set out, and I thought everything was clean. Well, I woke up in the morning and I couldn't find the same underwear I wore for every game. And they were downstairs and they had not been washed. But I was like, I cannot change this. I had to wear them. So I just went and put dirty underwear on, and then we ended up winning the game. So
Oh my gosh.
Anything
I'm glad
for
I
the
didn't know
team.
that.
Wow.
Anything for the team. That's great. Lexi?
I always enjoyed the bus rides, and I'll never forget the Riley County game when Kylie got in the bus and sat in the driver's seat and opened the bus door, and Dawn was not on the bus, and I don't know if she knows if we did that, but Kylie opened up the door and she goes, "Welcome to my bus," and it was just hilarious.
Well, the one thing about this bunch too is that, you know, when there was in-service days, I went ahead and had practice early, and I was headed up to the field, and here was a caravan of these juniors. It's always the juniors, and they were playing tag through the health department. I just chummed in, you know, and I just went around with them. Then I thought they were going to turn into the ball field, and nope, they went on past the football field, and I went to practice, and I thought, if you're late, you will be doing a lot of running. But oh, here they came. They were never late. Crazy kids.
Lexi, plans for next year, and any of you can, as you tell us your plans, kind of relay what that's like now. I know it's not normal, but what are your plans, Lexi?
I'm going to attend Kansas State University and major in journalism and mass communications.
And is the process somewhat normal right now, because they are planning to open campus up, which is good news, but are the steps, I mean, you obviously can't go visit, right?
Our orientation is online now. It was supposed to be at campus, obviously, but now they've moved it to online, so that part's different.
Okay. Jaden?
I'm going to attend Fort Hays State University and study medical diagnostic imaging with an emphasis in ultrasound.
Wow. Kylie?
I plan to go to Abellis Academy for cosmetology.
Excellent. Gracie?
I am planning on going to Manhattan Area Technical College. I was wanting to major in nursing, but I thought about doing optometry later on. If I decide to do that. But
Excellent. Coaches, any parting thoughts?
I just want you guys to know that it's been really tough here. I tried not to cry through this today. But there's not a day that doesn't go by. We don't think about it. I know Dawn and I do a lot. So we love you. Miss you lots.
You know, this is just a special group to me. Every year, you know, they're special and they're hardworking, but this group's is exceptionally special to me because I coach them during the summer too. So they have to put up with me for quite a few months of the year. So, but you know, they're such a joy to come to practice with, and they try anything and everything. Nicole and I, we say, now, you know, come on, Lexi, you know, what I put in my senior night on Facebook is that I've never seen anybody in all my years swing at high pitches and still be able to hit them, because it is the dangest thing and I don't coach that. I really don't. But, you know, they play with so much heart, and it's just pretty surreal. You know, I'm just going to really miss them. They have a big shoes, you know, somebody has big shoes to fill for them. And that's Nicole and I's job next year. Is like, God, you know, back to Lexi being at first base. You know, Clara, when she's not pitching, I put her at first base because I tell you what, they can catch a ball. So, you know, I'm going to lose. I lose a lot, you know, speed, and just, you know, Gracie being fearless at third base, Kylie, holy crap, you know, sorry, didn't mean to say that. Claire's got a filthy changeup, and it takes a really, really good catcher to stop that. And how many times, Nicole, did we see a third strike? God, I can't see because I got too many tears in my eyes. Sorry, guys. Third strike changeup in the dirt or something, and she's got it. It is amazing, you know. So big shoes to fill, and I'm just gonna miss them. They're just fun to be around. Like I said, every day I will miss them walking up the sidewalk, because they're always in a group. They're always together, but they're always laughing. I'm surprised you guys didn't say you missed the scavenger hunt, because I missed that. I had it all ready to go, and no scavenger Easter egg hunt. So I will miss you. Love you guys. Hopefully I'll get to see a few of you this summer and just play a little bit. It's going to be tough trying to find tournaments, I think, and we just maybe get together with a couple, 2 or 3 other teams, and we're going to hopefully do a round robin and double headers or something. So maybe I can twist your arms to get you back on the field, because I think you need to do that. I think that it will help with your closure a little bit, because you guys had a lot taken away from you, not just in softball, with everything. Not finishing the state basketball tournament, I was so disappointed too, because I love watching you guys do everything. It's just been really fun to watch you guys just grow and be amazing kids. So I'm sad. Sorry.
Well, I think Coach said it very well, that you are amazing young adults and on your way to doing something fantastic, I'm sure, well beyond this. And it's tough to look back at this and think what you missed out on, but I can't imagine what going forward you guys will accomplish because of what you've already done at the high school level and now going beyond. I hope you get a chance to get back on the field with the coaches, at least for a little bit this summer, and shine again, because it was so much fun. I actually went back to look through the box score in my scorebook from last year's state tournament, and I didn't really need to do that because it's so memorable how you guys competed and won the 2 games and eventually that final game after suspension to take 3rd place. You guys are rock stars. Thanks for taking part in this. I really do appreciate it, and good luck and congratulations on your graduation. That's hopefully coming in a real atmosphere in June. We'll look forward to that. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.
Thanks. Love you guys.